The Bible is a tapestry woven with stories of heroes. These stories have been passed down through generations, each thread adding to the rich fabric of our faith. We know their names well: David, the shepherd boy who slew Goliath. His bravery in the face of insurmountable odds is legendary. Moses, who parted the Red Sea. His leadership and unwavering faith led his people to freedom. Esther, who saved her people. Her courage and wisdom in a time of great peril continue to inspire us. Their courage inspires us. Their faith strengthens us. But what about the quieter stories? The ones that don't make it to the forefront of our minds. The ones whispered through the ages. These are the stories that often go unnoticed, yet they hold profound lessons. The Bible is also filled with accounts of unsung heroes. These individuals may not have grand chapters dedicated to them, but their lives were no less significant. These men and women might not have grand chapters dedicated to them. They lived their lives in quiet devotion, often in the background, yet their impact was immense. Yet, their faith shines brightly. Their unwavering belief in God's plan and their dedication to their faith are testaments to their greatness. Their actions, though seemingly small, played a vital role in God's grand plan. Every act of kindness, every moment of faith, contributed to the larger story. These are the stories that remind us that greatness isn't defined by fame or recognition. It's the quiet, consistent acts of faith that truly matter. True greatness lies in faithfulness. It's about staying true to one's beliefs, even when no one is watching. It's about answering God's call, no matter how humble the task. Every small act of service, every moment of devotion, is a step in fulfilling God's plan. Let's explore a few of these remarkable lives. They will inspire you. These stories will show you that even the most ordinary lives can have extraordinary impacts. They will remind you that even the smallest act of faith can have an eternal impact. In God's eyes, no act of faith is too small, and every gesture of love and kindness is significant. As we delve into these stories, let us remember that our own lives too are part of this grand tapestry. Each of us has a role to play, and our faith, no matter how small, can make a difference. So, let us be inspired by these unsung heroes. Let their stories remind us that we too can be heroes in our own right, through our faith, our actions, and our love for one another. The Israelites were trapped. They found themselves in a dire situation, surrounded by enemies and with no apparent way out. Their cries for help echoed through the land, a desperate plea for divine intervention. Oppressed by the Canaanite king Jabin, a ruthless ruler who showed no mercy, their suffering seemed endless. His iron chariots and powerful army made resistance seem futile. They cried out to God for deliverance. In their darkest hour, Deborah, a prophetess and judge of Israel, arose. She was a beacon of hope, a woman of wisdom and courage. She issued a bold prophecy: victory would come, not through a mighty warrior, but through a woman. This was a surprising revelation, challenging the norms of the time. Enter Jael. Jael, a woman of simple means, lived a nomadic life. Her days were filled with the humble tasks of survival, moving from place to place, setting up tents and caring for her family. When the defeated Canaanite general Sisera sought refuge in her tent, Jael saw an opportunity. Sisera, fleeing from the battlefield, was desperate and exhausted. She offered him milk, a symbol of hospitality and peace. This gesture was meant to put him at ease, to make him feel safe and welcomed. Lulled into a false sense of security, Sisera fell asleep. He believed he had found a sanctuary, a place where he could rest and recover. It was then that Jael acted. With a heart full of resolve and a mind set on her purpose, she prepared to carry out a daring plan. With a tent peg and a hammer, tools of her everyday life, she performed an act of extraordinary courage. These simple tools, usually used for mundane tasks, became instruments of deliverance. She ended Sisera's life, fulfilling Deborah's prophecy, and delivering Israel. Her brave act turned the tide of history, bringing freedom to her people. Jael's story is a testament to the power of a single act of faith. It reminds us that even the most ordinary individuals can be called to do extraordinary things. God can use anyone, regardless of their background or station in life, to accomplish his purposes. Jael's courage and faith continue to inspire, showing that with faith, even the humblest among us can change the course of history. Ruth, a young widow from Moab, gleaned barley in the fields of Bethlehem. She had traveled from her homeland, leaving behind everything she knew, to support her mother-in-law, Naomi. The journey was long and arduous, but Ruth's determination never wavered. She was driven by a deep sense of loyalty and love for Naomi, who had also lost her husband and sons. Ruth was a foreigner in a strange land, stripped of her security, clinging to the hope of a new life. The fields of Bethlehem were her only refuge, a place where she could gather the remnants of the harvest to sustain herself and Naomi. Despite her worries, she held on to hope, believing that kindness and providence would guide her path. It was in those very fields that she encountered Boaz, a wealthy landowner. Boaz noticed Ruth among the gleaners. He was struck by her presence, not just because she was new, but because of the grace and determination with which she worked. He saw her diligence, her humility, and her unwavering loyalty to her mother-in-law Naomi. Ruth's dedication was evident in every action, from the way she gathered the barley to the way she carried herself with quiet strength. Boaz, moved by her story and her character, showed her kindness. He instructed his workers to leave extra barley for her to gather, ensuring she had more than enough. This act of generosity was not just about providing food, it was a gesture of respect and acknowledgement of her hard work and perseverance. He ensured she was treated with respect and dignity. In a time when widows and foreigners were often marginalized, Boaz's actions were a powerful statement of compassion and justice. Boaz's actions went beyond mere courtesy. He provided Ruth with protection and a sense of belonging, something she desperately needed in a foreign land. His kindness was a beacon of hope in her life, illuminating the path ahead. Boaz was a kinsman redeemer, a relative with the responsibility to care for the vulnerable. This role was not just a duty but a calling to uphold the values of family and community. Boaz embraced this responsibility wholeheartedly. He honored this role by marrying Ruth, providing for her and Naomi. Their union was more than a marriage, it was a covenant of love, protection, and provision. Through this act, Boaz ensured that Ruth and Naomi would never be alone or destitute again. Their union, a testament to Boaz's compassion and faithfulness, became part of the lineage of King David and ultimately Jesus Christ. This story of kindness in the fields of Bethlehem is a powerful reminder of how acts of compassion can ripple through generations, shaping the course of history and fulfilling divine purposes. Abigail was a woman of beauty and intelligence. She was married to Nabal, a wealthy but foolish man. When David, still a fugitive from King Saul, sought provisions from Nabal, he was met with insults and rejection. Enraged, David vowed revenge. Abigail, sensing the impending disaster, took matters into her own hands. She gathered provisions and, with humility and wisdom, intercepted David and his men. Her words were carefully chosen, calming David's anger and appealing to his sense of justice. Abigail's intervention prevented bloodshed. She saved her husband's household and spared David from a grave sin. After Nabal's death, David, recognizing her wisdom and courage, took Abigail as his wife. Her story reminds us that wisdom and diplomacy can be powerful tools for good, averting disaster and paving the way for peace. Naaman, a powerful Syrian general, was afflicted with leprosy. A young Israelite girl, captured in a raid and forced to serve in Naaman's household, heard of his suffering. This unnamed girl, despite her own difficult circumstances, dared to speak up. She told Naaman's wife about a prophet in Israel, Elisha, who could heal him. Her words, spoken with faith and conviction, sparked a chain of events. Naaman, initially skeptical, eventually sought out Elisha and was miraculously healed. This young girl's story is a testament to the power of a simple act of faith. She didn't possess wealth or status, yet her belief in God's power and her willingness to speak out, even in a foreign land, led to a miraculous healing. Jael, Boaz, Abigail, and the unnamed servant girl. Their stories, though diverse, share a common thread: unwavering faith. They didn't seek recognition or reward, they simply acted, trusting God to work through them, even in the most unexpected ways. These unsung heroes remind us that every act of faith matters. Whether it's a bold act of courage, a quiet act of kindness, a wise intervention, or a simple statement of belief, God can use it. He can use it to change lives, to shape history, and to accomplish His divine purpose. Imagine the ripple effect of these acts of faith. Jael's courage delivered a nation. Boaz's kindness blessed generations to come. Abigail's wisdom averted bloodshed and preserved a future king. The servant girl's faith led to a miraculous healing. These seemingly small acts had far-reaching consequences. They impacted not only the lives of those directly involved, but also the course of history. Your life, like the lives of these unsung heroes, is a story being written. Every day presents opportunities for you to live out your faith. We don't need to look far to find inspiration. These stories of unsung heroes reside within the pages of the Bible. They remind us that God sees every act of faith, He honors it, He uses it. Let their stories inspire you to live a life of courage, kindness, wisdom, and faith. Don't underestimate the power of your actions. No act of faith is insignificant in God's eyes. You may never have a chapter in the Bible dedicated to your life, but your story, written on the pages of time, can be a testament to the power of faith. Let your life be a melody that blends with the grand symphony of God's grace. Be an unsung hero. Live a life that echoes faith, courage, and love long after you're gone.